guys, welcome to another special edition of Hey Mamas. I'm here with Cristina from OCMomLifestyle. And Jen waving, yes. Hi, good job waving. And most of you don't know this, but Cristina is a speech therapist and she has some awesome tips on how you can help your baby develop their speech. So I am so excited because that's something I'm always trying to work with her, and I know other moms are always curious about what they can be doing to help their babies and their language development.
Yeah, so I think most people like right away think about words as like for language development, but one of the main things to start is with the nonverbal communication. So just getting down to their level and helping them communicate the way they do. Like most of them start by crying, and that's usually how we know what they want.
Right? Yes.
So one of the first things we can work on with them is just helping them use gestures more. So I don't know if you've seen Layla Jane do some already.
Yes, actually that's so funny that you mentioned that, because just about 2 weeks ago she started when she's sitting down putting her arms up when she wants to be picked up.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's really funny. That's like really kind of the only thing though that she does right now is the arm raising.
Yeah, and one of the things we as speech therapists always tell parents is when they do that to use language to model. Okay. So you tell them, oh, you want me to pick you up? All right, pick up. And this way you start modeling, so once they do have words, they can start saying pick up.
Oh, okay, because I usually just go out there and I'd be like, okay, and I just pick her up. So I need to start saying, you want to be picked up.
Yeah, and that's so hard as a mom to remember, because you're just in your head, you know what you're doing. Yeah. But it's really helpful to just really tell them anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
And to model the right words,
we gotta model them.
Another thing you can do is just work on songs to teach them, like the wheels on the bus go round and round, and up and down, swish, 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 swish. And working on gestures like waving hi and bye-bye, and eventually they'll pick it up and will be doing it themselves. And also pat a cake is such a good song. Oh, that's a good one. Pat a cake?
Right? You like that one? Yeah, just the other day we've started really trying to get her clapping. And so we'll do clap, 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 and we always say it in front of her. And she's even gotten to the point now where if we do this, she'll grab onto the outside of our hands and clap for us. Yeah. So, you know, it's just little baby steps, right? Okay, the second step, or the second tip she has, is working on receptive language. So what exactly do you mean by that?
So we have our expressive language, that's of us using the words, and receptive language is us understanding words. Okay. So obviously before babies can use and tell us what they want, they need to understand those words. So we need to work on their receptive language before we can expect them to actually say any words. Okay. And that's basically you're labeling everything. Okay. So you're walking around and saying, oh, table, that's a table. You eat on the table. Oh, look. Feet. Your feet are right here and you have toes. So you're just literally non-stop talking all day long to help them learn words.
And you know, that's, again, that's kind of so hard to do because sometimes you just get so busy, you're doing things and remembering just to almost just always voicing your opinion or what you're thinking out loud. Yeah. It seems like, right?
And also working on direction. So like eventually we can start working on, oh, let's touch your nose, and that's how you start teaching them also body parts and other things, and like getting them to point to things, right? All right, so next, before we can actually expect them to say their first word, we need to work on imitating syllables. So things like baba, mama, papa. And obviously they don't mean mama or papa, but they're working on making these sounds. You need to exaggerate a little bit, so really showing them. And so that will really help them start making those sounds. And eventually, hopefully, they will start using 2 different syllables. So like ba, da, ga, ga, things like that. Yeah.
No, is James at that point where he uses 2 different syllables? When is
he is? Okay. Sometimes he's still. Yeah.
What was that?
Are you showing off? So yeah, it's just definitely important to encourage them. Yes, and saying back whatever they say. Okay. So it's almost teaching them that 2-way communication.
Oh, back. Just like that?
Yeah. And I know a lot of parents have heard or have been told, like, don't use the motherese talk. Yes. Where you just go to the baby, goo goo ga 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 ga, and it makes no sense. Right. So it's a little bit different than like repeating back what they're saying. It's good to encourage them to keep talking. If they're saying baba, and you might re-say back baba, and then you can if they're pointing at a bottle, you can then say, oh, that's the bottle, and then model what the right word is. Yeah. So another fun way to work on these sounds is working on animal sounds.
Oh, yes.
So there's a lot of pictures you can use, or just in general, if you're reading a book and you see animals, and start encouraging them to make those sounds. Yeah. So we've been now really working on cow, and asking, what does the cow say, James? Moo. Yeah, good try. Moo. Yeah, and so you can work on what does a cat say and what does a doggy say. These are really fun, and they think it's so funny when you make those noises. It's hilarious.
How funny. And I guess, you know, it's never too early to start this, right?
Yes, it's never too early.
And she actually just got for Christmas some really cute books from her aunt that make the sounds of all the animals.
Nice.
So we've been doing that a lot. And she loves it, even though she's not even close to really saying it. At least, like you said, it's the receptive language. She's hearing it.
Yeah.
So your fourth tip was be a commentator. And this is one of my favorite tips because I feel like it's the one I am the best at. And it's just basically just say everything you're doing as you're doing it. And I've been doing that since she was a baby. When I'm dressing her, I'll be like, okay, we're gonna put your right arm in now your left arm. When I'm emptying the dishwasher, I'm talking to her about, here's the fork, I'm gonna put the fork away, here's the spoon. And even if it's just the most monotonous thing, I am just verbally telling her everything I'm doing. So when I saw that tip, I was like, yes, I'm doing that one right.
That's probably the best any parent can do.
Yes, good.
Because they can't develop language without getting that input. So literally, if you want to take one tip away, that's probably the best. Just talk all day long. The more they hear, the better their brain is going to develop for all those language neurons to build. And I think a lot of parents think it's like so silly to talk to them because they think they don't understand, but it doesn't matter. You literally could be reading legal briefs to them. Like my husband, he will read his arguments to James because I'm like, he needs to hear language. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as they hear something, it's definitely the best we can do.
Are you gonna give it? Thank you.
No, thank you. And so when you do talk to your baby, one of the best ways to do it is using PARENTESE. And it's basically you're stretching out the vowels and you have a little more intonation. It's almost natural for people when they talk to babies. It kind of goes like, oh, is that a house? Oh, look at that. And it's not the same as another reason where you're just babbling, but it definitely, for some reason, babies tend to be more interested in that type of intonation and the voice changes, so it helps.
And like you said, high pitch too, right? Because I noticed that too when we first had Layla Jane and like the first few months of her life, she always kind of responded better to me almost than my husband, and I think it's because I really have that naturally high pitched voice. And so I always would have to jokingly tell my husband, you gotta go higher in your voice. And I think because they respond better to that. And like you said, it's not like making up the goo goo gaga type of phrase. It's just using regular language, but altering the pitch and those vowel sounds.
Definitely.
So good tip.
And also if you want to slow down your speed a little bit, I think all of us tend to talk so fast. So it is more helpful if you do slow down a little bit and kind of emphasize if there are certain words you want them to kind of catch on more.
Okay, that's something I need to take away.
Me too. I'm always such a fast talker.
Right? All right, tip number 5. So what is your final tip?
Reading. And I know we've talked about this so many times. There's so much they learn from reading, going from just like the learning vocabulary to following directions. What are you doing, silly monkey? And just being able to start learning some of the sounds and recognizing letters. Reading is so beneficial. Oh my goodness, James, you're being crazy.
You're just full of energy.
And you could start with the little ones, with simple books that have less words and mostly just pictures, and working on pointing on things.
Oh my gosh, he's going crazy. Layla Jane just wants food.
Alright, well, that's...
Well, and just going on with the reading, I mean, I read to Layla Jane all the time. And sometimes, like, the books I give to read her, like, they have pictures, but there's a lot of words. So I just kind of make up my own words.
That's perfect, yes.
And just kind of point to the pictures. And she's gotten to the point now where it's hard for me to even read to her because she just wants to grab the book and just play with it and eat it. But I feel like that's okay too, because at least she's interacting with it.
For sure.
So sometimes we're not actually getting the story read, but it's still, I feel like as long as I'm making it fun and so she likes books, that's good.
Yeah, I was from the beginning, I really wanted to read, but James was never a huge fan of reading, so it was kind of disappointing. But I figured a few tricks on if you have a baby who doesn't like books, definitely try to find some books that have the flaps or open pages.
Right.
So now he's actually opening the flap and he's more engaged. That's the only way he'll really pay attention. And now that he knows the books, he like is excited to, or any books that have sounds when you push.
Yes,
they make some noise. That keeps them more engaged.
Yes, it does. Well, thank you so much, Cristina. I think that was so helpful, and all those tips were wonderful and such easy things you can do.
Definitely.
Things you can do to help your kid and help them develop, and you don't have to spend any money on it. It's just things you can do with it any time of the day too.
For sure.
So thank you, and let us know in the comments below how these tips went, and also make sure to follow us on Instagram. I'm HeyMamas18
and OCMomLifestyle. And if you have any questions specifically, feel free to drop it in the comments or message us. We're very happy to respond.
Yes, definitely. Thank you again so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.